What up, YouTube? Coming at y'all with another bike video. Just wanted to do a video talking about building a BMX versus building a lowrider bike. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know I pretty much build all kind of stuff. I consider myself a hobbyist, so I build, not just bikes. I build all kind of stuff. This is a car-based channel. I haven't done any car content for a while, so I am going to start back doing that. With that being said, I am still going to post bike content too. But I am going to start back doing some car content. It's been a minute. So that's mainly what this channel originally was. But I do like building bikes too. So for those that follow me, because you into bikes, I am still going to post that too. So yeah, let's get into it. So this video is, like I said, building a BMX versus building a lowrider bike. Which one is more expensive? Which one is more of a hassle? We cover all those type of things, but yeah, let's get into it. So for me, building a BMX is more expensive. To some, building a lowrider bike is more expensive. With that being said, it's always up to the builder. It's not really up to just everybody as far as what you're gonna spend on your bike, because it just depends on the type of person you are and what you want to get out of your build. With me, I've never been the type of person to build a BMX the cheap route. I'll do a budget friendly route, but I always get the right parts. I'm not the type of person to just go buy a frame and fork. Like, I bought this frame and fork or whatever. I'm not the type of person to buy a frame and fork and then get on Amazon or something and just buy a gang of cheap shit. Like, that's never been me. I've always been patient enough to wait on deals, which is my idea of a budget, because sometimes you actually could spend less putting good used parts on your bike versus buying a gang of brand new cheap shit that's gonna break and just devalue your bike. I'm pretty sure a lot of you out there that's in the BMX scene, a lot of people, in particular, I'm gonna talk about GTs because that's more what I'm familiar with. I know a lot of y'all probably seen, bikes for sale online. People want stupid amounts of money, and you being an enthusiast, you know what parts is just crap and what is and what ain't, pretty much. So a lot of people would take like a bike like this, and let's say they start with a frame and fork. They get some bullshit mags off eBay, like the cheap PVC mags with the cheap ball bearing, like the cheap ass mags, like eBay special. Cheap tires, aftermarket pedals, aftermarket seat. I like Dominator seats. That's about it. For as I ain't gonna say that's about it, but they got cheaper seats than Dominator seats. But at least put a Dominator seat on here. But I see bikes with cheap mags, no name handlebars, Amazon pedals, flimsy Amazon brakes, just a gang of junk, crazy, super cheap. The popular cheap C clamp to run is the fake tough neck. That's what I see a lot of bikes have, like just a lot of cheap parts, man. And that's not me. With me, I'd rather just take my time and find either some good aftermarket parts, because there's plenty good aftermarket parts, or I'll just try to find, a piece at a time of the original parts. Like I say, sometimes it's cheaper to just get good used OG parts. Like, for example, my C clamp right there. When I bought that clamp, I say those because the guy actually gave me 2 extra ones. I paid $12 for that clamp, and I got three of those clamps. So what else? Like that seat, I spent $40. That's the price of a Dominator, and that's an OG GTC. And this is not like years ago. This is all recent. I built this bike within the last few months. Like, I built this bike recently. So but yeah, like, building this bike, to me, it can be a little more, I won't say stressful, but time consuming, because you really gotta like search for parts, the right parts and things like that, to build it how you want it. But nothing against like people who go that route, the cheap route. Maybe that's what they can afford. Maybe that's what they're comfortable with. I don't know. Because sometimes it's not always about affording things. Sometimes it's just people not patient and they just want their bike now, which is cool, but it's just better ways to do it. So if I was building a frame and fork, I'd give y'all a little hack what I would do, and I'm speaking on GTs. Let's just say you got a frame and fork and you just, you want it now. You just want to ride your bike now. The hack that I would do, I would find, is less expensive counterpart. Like for example, this being a GT, maybe find a Dyno VFR, something that don't cost a lot. You can find those for 100 or less a lot of times, like a cool one. Dyno VFR, Dyno Nitro. Sometimes you look up and find like an Interceptor, 90s Interceptor, 90s Mach 1, or something like that, and just strip it and put all the parts on this frame, and then you'll have a complete bike with good decent parts, versus just buying a gang of cheap shit. And you can enjoy it, and while you enjoying it, you can swap out the parts as you please, as you can afford it or as your budget permits. You could just, you might want to swap out the brake caliper one week. You might find you a nice set of wheels, another week. Or if you're just happy with it, leave it as it is. It's not like you just own junk aftermarket parts. Okay, so when it comes to lowrider bikes, the reason I like building lowrider bikes, I actually build more BMXs than lowrider bikes, but one of my reasons for liking to build lowrider bikes is because there's no wrong way of doing it. With a lowrider bike, you can go from mild to wild. Like I've never been into like the overly done lowrider bikes. The most I like to do is like my other lowrider bike when I molded the frame. Something like that, but I don't like the twisted metal and twisted handlebars. I never been into that. Like I don't knock people who do it. It look good on certain bikes, but I just like the traditional style lowrider bike. Kind of like how they look when you go back and look at pictures from like the 70s and 80s and 90s and things like that. That's kind of my style of building these bikes. With that being said, my opinion is cheaper because with this is, like I said, no specific part. It's just what you want. You got some people that use, let's just say with this bike is being a swing, an actual real swing. You got some people that want all real swing parts, and that can get costly. But then you got some people that just like aftermarket parts. With me, I like the mixture. This is one of those type of bikes that you could just take your time and swap out parts. You can do homemade parts. Like just this morning, I wrapped that seat. It's not perfect. I am going to get a real deal Stingray seat, but I just didn't like how it was looking because if you go back and look at my previous videos on this bike, it had like some ugly buttons and it just was crazy. So I wrapped it. I had some blue vinyl and I wrapped it, and then I had some black dye and I sprayed it on there and hooked it up and put it on the bike. So now I got a black banana seat, just a plain black one. Also, you can see I put the shock sissy bar on it. But yeah, so like I was saying, the reason I like this bike, building lowrider bikes, because it's no wrong or right way of doing it. You just go as you please. You can make the shit, whatever. It's a lot of people that got handmade parts on these bikes. So it's not like you chasing a certain part like on this bike where I was chasing a crank or I was chasing, let's just say when I was looking for fan mags, finding this specific wheel or finding the bulldog brake or, just finding specific parts. This right here is like freestyle. Like you just put whatever looks good, whatever you like at the time. So it could be cheap. Like you don't have to put a lot into this bike. Like believe it or not, the seat that's on it right now, just redoing it, I got $1 into redoing that seat. So I bought some. It's like a adhesive back vinyl. It's already got the adhesive on it, and I wound up getting a roll of that at this store for $1. And I just wrapped it, and then I already had some some upholstery spray. So I just sprayed it. So I literally paid $1 for it. Everything that I use. Granted, if you did it, you might not have everything I have, but it still could be done on the cheap. Um, what else? It's not even painted. It's one of those bikes that kind of just get respect because a lot of people respect your process because this is one of those bikes that's is always a custom. So people don't expect it to always be clean because they know a lot of times you in the process of building. So you can get away with like this bike has original paint and then they got a mismatched chain guard. So you can get away with that stuff. You'd be surprised how many compliments I got on this bike already, and I haven't even done anything. It's the paint is still in bad shape, but it is original. But they see where I'm going with it. So I get a lot of recognition on this bike already. So that's pretty much why I like these bikes because it's not a stressful build. It's just go as you please. Like that whatever you like. I might not like something tomorrow. I'll change it. Like it's nothing like error correct or you just put whatever the hell you want on this bike. But yeah, um, but far as expenses, again, it depends on the builder. There are some people who spend, 15,000 on one of these bikes. Believe it or not, there are some people that won't touch over 1,000 building the bike. Some people won't even do 500. It just depends, like how far you go. But with me being the type who just like, the smooth chrome, I don't like the twisted handlebars and all that stuff. It's a little less expensive, like the bars. I know you probably can't tell because they look kind of the same, but I recently changed the bars and the stem. That's actually a Swin stamp handlebar and an OG Swin stem now. I had an aftermarket one at first, but I did swap it out. That's just one of those things, you got the bike, you just looking online and you run across one and, you go snatch it up. Um, but yeah, just wanted to give y'all a little comparison, man. Just, people that's thinking about getting into bikes and not sure the route they want to go or to do like I did and go both routes. Me, I build BMX, lowrider bikes. Hold on a second. But yeah, I build BMX lowrider bikes, beach cruisers. I build BMX scooters. I build all type of stuff. So, uh, do a little bit of everything and see what you like. But yeah, just wanted to give y'all that little comparison while I had them out. As you can see, they both looking good. Still got to clean them, especially this BMX. I still got to clean it up real nice. But yeah, just wanted to give y'all a little content. All right, y'all.